Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, Darth Devious, bringing you another video review, and today, something from the past, somewhat, a couple, 5-10 years ago. Transformers Alternators Rodimus, a Ford GT, officially licensed by Ford. Let's see the packaging. This is the second packaging that they had for the alternator figures, this bubble packaging. It's not bad. Not bad. And what's cool about these alternators is, if you see here, 1/24 scale. And that was the gimmick with these. Basically, if you look underneath, you can see all the things like opening engine, all that stuff. Wisdom will always defeat firepower. Okay. Anyway. Out of package, most alternators look like just regular 1/24 scale cars. Like if you get like a 1/24 scale NASCAR diecast, which I might show off when I get him out of the package, how he scales with something like that, because I do have a couple in here. And that's what they're supposed to look like, a regular street car until you transform them. And it actually works for most of them. Most of these you cannot tell that they're Transformers other than like Autobot symbols or Decepticon symbols on the car modes, which some of them don't even have, or they have them in subtle places. So it was a really interesting take on Transformers, and I really did. I liked the line when it first came out. I mean, I hopped on the very first one that came out, which was Smokescreen, back in, I'll say 2003, well, maybe even 2002. I gotta look up and see when they came out, but yeah, really cool, really cool. I'm looking forward to him. He's one of the few molds I don't have. I mean, he was originally this mold was originally released as Mirage, but I figure if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get the Hot Rod version. Rodimus. It's Hot Rod. Get over it. Yeah. So I'm going to get this out of the package, and we'll look at the car mode in more detail. Be back. Alright, here's Rodimus out of the package. And yeah, we saw most of the detail in the package, but you know, you can see here, nice Ford logo, things like that. Gas cap. Too hot, says his license plate. And you can see on some of the earlier figures from the alternator line, they would paint the brake calipers and rotors inside. These they haven't. You can see it's just molded in red in there. And underneath, it's got visible head syndrome, visible hand syndrome. Not too much else. Everything else pretty much cleanly hides the robot stuff, other than right here. As you can see, like almost all alternator figures, if you ever get an alternator figure, you will see that the steering is linked. So you can see here, I move this one, the other one moves too. You get a little bit of a steer with this, so you can actually steer it and get it to turn slightly. It's not a huge turning radius, but it does turn. You straighten it out, you know. And if we open up, we'll open up the door here. If I can get it open without breaking everything. Yeah, there you go. And you can see all the detail on the inside. There's a stick shift in there. There's the gauges. They all are, they're marked too. There are marks on the gauges, on some of them anyway. Steering wheel, turn signal, racing seats. Back here is his engine compartment. You lift that up. His engine's in there. That's actually his gun, or guns, I should say. Yeah, so there you go. I'm going to turn him into robot. We'll take a look at the robot mode, and that'll be it. Alright, now here's Rodimus in robot mode. And it's not too bad of a robot mode, you know, it's a little chunky in places. Yeah, there's a little bit of kibbleness going on here on the back, but it's still pretty cool. A lot of things fold away and become part of the robot mode. You know, and he does have nice heel spurs for standing. This chest piece is my one quibble with this thing. It's just, it doesn't stay in place. It's just not going to, I guess. Articulation wise, these you know, alternator figures are up there with like masterpiece figures. In fact, you see he's got the moving finger here and the 3 moving fingers here. That's these hands are very similar to like the masterpiece prowl mold. So, you know, at a much lower price point. I don't know why they're charging $70, $80 for a masterpiece when the alternators were going for $20. You know, it's the license fee. I know they have to pay the license for those particular vehicles, but still, that's insane. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Front end of the car becomes the shoulders. That's kind of cool. Robot mode, you get more of this flame motif going on. I know Repro Labels has a set that gives him even more flames, so that the flames up here match the flames that are on his arms. Things like that. It's not too shabby. Yeah, look up at his head for a minute here. We'll zoom in. And it's not a bad head sculpt for Rodimus, even though this was originally Mirage. They did put in a gimmick where he's got a visor. If I can get it to go down. You have to lift up the one part and then the other part's supposed to come down. So he's got his glasses, or whatever they are, his visor. You know. His head's on a nice ball joint, gets a lot of movement out of it. All over the place. Shoulders go 360. There's a lot of kibble back here though to get in the way. He's got another joint here, up here. Then he's got a double elbow and a swivel and a ball jointed wrist. Lots of stuff. I already showed you the fingers. Come on down a little bit. He's got a waist. Got pin and socket joints at his hips. Rotation above the knee. He's got a good knee. And then he's got a lot of movement here in his foot. He's got joints all over the place. Like I said, these have a lot of the same articulation the Masterpiece figures have at a much lower price point. I mean, alternator figures, even today, you can get for $20, $30 in package. I mean, they're cool. They're really cool. They don't look like the G1 characters like the Masterpiece are supposed to, but still, you get an updated version of a character with a hell of a lot of articulation, and in car mode they look like real vehicles. I mean, just, you can't beat that. If you want to collect them, you can find them at like toy shows, online. You can find them at, like, you know, hobby shops, wherever you find like older toys and stuff like that. Comic book shops sometimes carry them. Look around; they're out there. They're not hard to find. Some molds will probably cost you more than others. Like the Jaguar version of Ravage is a little hard to come by at sometimes, and the Nemesis Prime version is a little hard to come by. And like all alternators, a part of the vehicle does become his weapons. In this case, he has two guns. He's got one little pistol here, and this is a bigger pistol here from the other half of the engine. And in his hands, he's got holes at the back of his hands, and the little nub here on the end plugs into the holes in the hands. If you can get it to line up and not make a fool of yourself. Come on. Then you can close the hand around it. There you go. See? So these are cool, and I'm glad I picked up the Rodimus version of this mold, because I think I would have liked this better than Mirage. I don't think this look fits for Mirage. You know, Mirage was a lot sleeker and thinner, but this fits for Hot Rod. I'll give it that. I mean, the only thing missing, the yellow fins on the back. So I'm sure they probably could have engineered a way to make these doors flip around to become the wings on the back, but it is what it is. This is a toy that's almost 10 years old now, so, you know, there's not much use complaining about it. Anyway. There you go. First time I've looked at an alternator figure. Some of them are better than others. Some are really well put together. I have most of the molds. I think I'm only missing the Prowl mold and Rumble. The mold they made Rumble out of. I think those are the only two I'm missing now. I could take a look at more of them if you want. I have to dig some of them out. Some of them are in storage, so I'm going to have to find them all. But yeah, they're pretty cool. And I do have both versions of Ravage. If you want to see that, I have the Corvette and I have the Jaguar. Trax I have, but I have a repro label set on him, and something's broken on him, so I got to be careful. And I have, you know, Optimus and all them, so I could take a look at a couple more of these molds if you guys want. Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. You be good. I'll send this version of Hot Rod after you. He almost looks like the one that's on the Lost Light, doesn't he? Later.